Okay, I think we can start up here. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, welcome to our approximately 40 attendees and those in our audience to the stream that's being done live. My name is Robert Carroll. I'm the Director of the Law at the New Jersey Turnpike. It's now 1 p.m. on Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. I will be serving as the hearing officer this afternoon. This hearing is being held to allow for public comment on the proposed toll adjustment and establishment of a new toll, all in support of the Authority capital program for the New Jersey Turnpike and Garden State Parkway. The hearing is being conducted pursuant to NJTA 27:23-5.10 and 5.11. The purpose of this hearing is to take public comment. This is not a question and answer session, but to the extent that basic questions can be answered, we will attempt to do so. Please also see the detailed information on the many informational boards displayed here, as well as the additional information that will be posted online on our website. Importantly, this hearing being live streamed will have a link on our website, NJTA.com, which you could go to, click on, and be able to see the hearing in its entirety. You obviously do not have to be here or in Camden to see these proposals. They are going to also be posted after the hearing is completed. Yeah, they are. In addition to this hearing, the Authority will hold one tonight at 6 p.m. at Camden County College in Sicklerville. The Authority is also accepting written comments. Written comments can be mailed, hand-delivered, or couriered to the Authority at the office of, and I'll provide the address now, Executive Director, New Jersey Turnpike Authority, 1 Turnpike Plaza, Post Office Box 5042, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 07095. Written comments may also be emailed to the Authority at NJTA publiccomments@njta.com. So there are two separate methods for you to submit your comments in writing. These same addresses for email and mailed written comments or questions are also depicted on display boards in this hearing. This is important. We have extended the deadline for written comments and emails. All written comments must be received by the Authority no later than 5 p.m. on Friday, April 3rd, 2020. That means we should be in receipt of any comments by that time. The Authority will address all comments and all questions and report to the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Board of Commissioners. After the close of the comment period, a final hearing report will also be posted on the Authority's website, again at www.njta.com. Now let me discuss the hearing protocol, the conduct of the hearing itself. The formalities are simple. The hearing will be conducted according to these specific rules. First, all members of the public who wish to speak this afternoon must register at the registration table located in the lobby of this building. All public speakers will be afforded up to 5 minutes. Remaining time cannot be assigned to another speaker. However, we note that there is no limit on the length of written comments or emailed comments. Second, for those who do speak, please be advised that I will let you know when you have approximately 30 seconds of your allotted 5 minutes. We'll be using this nifty timer here for your convenience and also to keep track. Third, the proceedings are being recorded by a certified court reporter and, as I noted already, are also being live streamed. Fourth, when you approach the microphone, we ask that you please state your name clearly, spell your last name, and identify your town of residence so that the court reporter can put it into the official record. And finally, again, all written comments will be accepted and entered into that record until April 3rd. We ask that all attendees demonstrate courteous behavior for the benefit of those in attendance, as well as those who are speaking, and obviously those who are watching online. Please turn off all cell phones or other electronic communication equipment and keep side conversations to a minimum to enable everyone to hear the speakers. Also, we would request that you respect social distancing recommendations that have been pretty well nationalized. Before we commence the public comments, we will first have two presentations concerning the capital plan and the requisite funding proposals. The first presenter will be, and I invite Diane Gutierrez-Gichetti, Commissioner of the Department of Transportation and Chairperson of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, to provide a presentation on the capital program and proposed tolls in support of the capital program. Commissioner?
Thank you, Bob. Before I begin the presentation, I would like to make some general remarks. Many have asked, and more have wondered, why these hearings are moving forward given the current environment. These hearings are the beginning of a process to approve the funding of a new capital program that began before our current circumstances. The program will sustain tens of thousands of jobs in the coming months and years and help to maintain and strengthen a transportation network that provides a substantial competitive edge for New Jersey in a highly competitive regional, national, and global economy. Today, we are experiencing the economic impact of COVID-19. Not unlike other periods of economic downturn, public works projects sustain us in recovery efforts and help to stimulate a lagging economy. As recently as this morning, the press has reported that the White House has emphasized the need for a stimulus package at the national level to ensure a quick economic recovery. The proposed NJTA capital plan is amongst the strongest economic stimulators for the state of New Jersey. Many of you have heard the expression that the three most important criteria in real estate are location, location, location. New Jersey is just that, a prime location to attract domestic and international firms to make New Jersey their home. And what does that bring? New jobs and new opportunity. Whether in the revitalization of an abandoned office space with new corporate headquarters or state-of-the-art warehouse facilities and distribution facilities with convenient access to the New Jersey Turnpike, the transportation network must continue to be strengthened, whether in good times or in tough times. Both publications, Site Selection and Area Development, rank transportation as the second most important factor in siting a new facility. While the details of this program will be discussed shortly, it is also important for me to say very affirmatively that the whole transportation system must be balanced. The press has reported that the Senate President has called for the continuation of a revenue stream from the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to New Jersey Transit. We will examine that request and advise the administration as to what is a sustainable funding amount without jeopardizing any of the very important capital projects presented here today. For today's protocol, please note that this room was sanitized just prior to this meeting. Chairs are set up at an appropriate distance in keeping with social distancing. The microphone will be wiped clean between speakers, and hand sanitizer is available at the entrances. Now let me begin my presentation. To those of you here in the room with us and those watching the live stream on the internet, welcome and thank you for your participation. We're here today to talk about how the Turnpike Authority proposes to raise the revenue necessary to fund its next capital program. The capital program we're proposing will keep tens of thousands of women and men at work, will help drive New Jersey's economy, and will bolster mobility and improve safety on two of New Jersey's most important highways for generations to come. Let's start by talking about how we propose to create a reliable, sustainable source of funding to pay for these improvements. The Turnpike Authority receives no tax money from any source. 92% of the Turnpike Authority's revenue comes from tolls paid by the people who use the Turnpike and Parkway. The remainder is generated from service areas, the PNC Arts Center, fiber optic and cell tower rents, and other relatively small miscellaneous sources. Building the projects necessary to assure mobility, sustain the economy, and keep people at work means raising additional toll revenue. The Turnpike Authority has no other means to pay for this work. Under our proposal, the average toll on the Turnpike will go from $3.50 to $4.75, and the average toll on the Parkway will go from $1.11 to $1.41. The toll schedules with the proposed new rates are posted on the boards in the other room and available on the Turnpike Authority website, www.njta.com. Under the Turnpike Authority proposal, tolls will be indexed starting in 2022. Indexing means that there will be modest annual increases to keep up with rising costs. This will create a reliable source of funding into the future. The annual increases would be capped at 3%. There are two other changes to this whole schedule being proposed. I want to describe them to you, even though they will not affect most drivers and are not included here as ways to raise additional revenue. First is a new toll on a ramp we're calling 19W. Interchange 19W provides a direct connection between the western spur of the New Jersey Turnpike and the Meadowlands complex. It was built in 1977. Historically, it has been open only on days when there is a Giants or Jets game or some other large event at the complex. The authority now plans to leave Interchange 19W open all the time. Drivers going to games, concerts, or races at the complex or visiting the American Dream Experience will be able to exit directly from the Turnpike. This means they won't have to go out onto Route 3 to access the complex. They will pay the same toll at 19W that they would have paid at 16W if the ramp had not been opened. The other change being proposed is the discount for buses. Buses now pay different rates on the Turnpike and Parkway. In some cases, different types of buses pay different rates on the same road. This proposal would create a standard 40% discount for all buses. None of the other discounts offered to New Jersey Easy Pass customers is being changed. The terms of the discounts for senior citizens, drivers of low-emission vehicles, and others would not be affected by this proposal. With the proposed increase, the toll rates on the Parkway and the Turnpike will remain in line with the rates drivers pay on other U.S. toll roads. The chart shows the 47 U.S. toll roads ranked from lowest cost per mile to highest. And as you can see, the Parkway is ranked 14th and the Turnpike 27th. That is with the proposed increase included. Under this proposal, toll adjustments are applied equally across all classes of vehicles. As you can see on this chart, the rates trucks pay on the Turnpike and Parkway would remain in line with other toll roads around the country. This slide is rather small for you to see, but it's on a board out in the lobby if you need to see it. The Turnpike Authority has a history of carefully planned, tightly managed capital programs. We get value for the money we spend by building projects that improve mobility and safety and have a real impact on the lives of people who travel on the Turnpike and the Parkway. What I'm talking about in the simplest terms is a bang for the buck. The Turnpike Authority has delivered bang for the buck with the past capital programs. The Turnpike Authority will continue to do so with the capital program we're here to discuss today. This slide shows a list of capital projects that were included initially in the 2008 capital program. As you can see, the authority proposed spending $7 billion to build 31 projects. And this slide shows what the Turnpike Authority eventually did with that $7 billion. The original plan called for 31 projects. We ended up building 39 projects without changing the cost. So let's talk about a few of those projects. This was one of the worst bottlenecks in New Jersey, the Turnpike between interchanges 6 and 9. If you went through there, you knew you were going to sit in traffic for a long time. The 2008 capital program included a major widening in this area. 170 lane miles were added. For most of the distance, the capacity was doubled. Because of that investment, this project has given drivers back the 10, 15, or 20 minutes a day that they used to spend sitting in traffic here. Even more importantly, their trip is safer. The crash rates in the corridor are now 50% lower than they were before the widening started. The original budget for this project was $2.5 billion. The final cost came in more than $300 million below that. We promised you a bang for your buck, and I think you'd have to agree that we delivered. If you travel on the Parkway along the Jersey Shore, either because you live there or are visiting during the summer, you know that the Turnpike was not the only congested toll road in New Jersey. The Parkway in Cape May, Atlantic, Burlington, and Southern Ocean counties had 2 lanes in each direction in 2008, just like it did when it opened in the 1950s. The congestion was relieved by adding a 3rd lane in each direction for 45 miles between South Toms River and Egg Harbor Township. When the 2008 capital program was adopted, there was only enough money to widen the Parkway for 17 of those 45 miles. The money for the other 28 miles came from the savings on the Turnpike widening and other projects. I'm just going to flip through some slides of a few other important projects that were completed under the past capital program. Many of the major bridges on the Turnpike and Parkway were more than half a century old and in need of repair or replacement when the last capital program was adopted. Redecking, rehabilitating, and in some cases widening those structures was an important component to the 2008 capital program. Here are a few examples. The Cassiano Bridge over the North Bay on the North Bay Hudson County extension of the Turnpike. This is the Lewandowski Bridge over the Hackensack River on the eastern spur of the Turnpike. It underwent extensive renovation. This is the Great Egg Harbor Bridge on the Parkway, an important route for South Jersey shore towns and an important evacuation route in the event of a hurricane or other coastal storm event. Original southbound bridge, which was built in 1954, was demolished. The northbound structures, which were added in 1973, were rehabilitated, and a brand new southbound crossing was built parallel to the northbound ones. This was a $250 million project. There was not enough money for it in the original capital proposal in 2008. It was one of the projects we were able to add later because of the money that was saved on other projects. Improvements were made at more than a dozen interchanges on the Turnpike and Parkway under the last capital program. These interchanges were designed in the middle of the 20th century and were unable to handle the demands we placed on them. This is interchange 14A in Bayonne. 50,000 vehicles went through there. Traffic backed up onto the North Bay extension because of the congestion at the toll plaza. The situation was only going to get worse as the port facility in Bayonne continued to grow. This photo shows the completed project. The toll plaza was widened. A roundabout was built to improve traffic flow between the toll plaza and the local road, Avenue E. Ramps were added. A new connector bridge was built. The project reduced congestion at the toll plaza and on the extension. It improved access for people who live and work in Bayonne and for trucks traveling to the port facility. And it boosted local economic development efforts by promising an easier trip into and out of the city. This is interchange 163 on the Parkway. This project improved access to Route 17 by moving the exit from the left side of the Parkway to the right side. There were 3 at-grade crossings in Middle Township at the southern end of the Garden State Parkway. They were controlled by the only 3 traffic lights you will find on the main line of either toll road. They were always congested during the summer months, and they had unacceptable crash rates. This project got rid of the at-grade crossings at all 3 intersections by building bridges to carry the Parkway traffic over the local roadways. But that's enough about the last capital program. It was very successful. A lot of important work was done, work that created jobs, boosted the economy, and improved the quality of life for drivers who depend on the Turnpike and Parkway. But we can't rest on our laurels. With this proposal, the Turnpike Authority is introducing a list of capital projects it intends to undertake in the coming years. You can see some of the highlights here. Capacity improvements in congested areas, fixing inadequate interchanges, and rehabilitating 80-year-plus old bridges. And you can see that the projects are spread out around the state, and that areas where less work was done under the last capital program will be getting the most attention under this one. Greg Laffoy will now be talking about some of the project specifics in just a few moments. The toll roads were a vision given to us from previous generations. They built them at a time when New Jersey desperately needed highway capacity. The openings ushered in an era of unprecedented economic growth for our state and allowed all of us to enjoy the benefits of what economists have called New Jersey's world-class, transportation-driven economy. By continuing to invest in the toll roads, we will sustain jobs, grow the economy, and expand upon the vision for true mobility for generations to come. I'll now turn it over to Greg.
Thank you, Chair, for that presentation. I'd like to reiterate there were approximately 36 informational and project display boards posted in and around the hearing room that provide additional details about the authority's proposals. We also have authority representatives posted in the rear and outside the hearing room who are wearing public hearing staff credentials and who may also be able to help you today or provide information about any future written inquiries. I also know that there are 10 new toll schedules that are depicted on approximately 10 display boards. As the chair has indicated, the next presenter is Greg Lafroy of the HNTB Corporation, who are the authority's general consulting engineers. Greg?
Thank you, Bob. I'm the project manager for HNTB for our consulting engineering services to the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. I'll be summarizing the proposed 2020 capital program that will be partially financed with these toll adjustments. First, I'd like to start out with a little bit of history in terms of how we put together the capital program. The authority's Board of Commissioners adopted a new strategic plan in 2019. That document is posted on the authority's website. The strategic plan identifies the authority's vision and goals and also describes their core values, which include safety, diversity, innovation, transparency, state of good repair, customer satisfaction, resiliency and sustainability, and finally, long-term financial stability. In alignment with the strategic plan and the authority's core values, a long-range capital program was developed with the input of all authority departments. That capital program is being presented here today. I'd like to summarize the proposed capital program for both the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike. There are a number of statewide projects that I'd like to start out with. Most of these projects are state of good repair type projects within the program that occur on both the Parkway and the Turnpike at various locations around the state. The projects include multiple contracts for resurfacing, bridge rehabilitation and replacement, drainage improvements, median barrier improvements, lighting upgrades with LED fixtures and circuit replacements, technology upgrades authority-wide, and other state of good repair type projects. In all, there are about a dozen statewide projects that are proposed with a value of approximately $4.6 billion. Next, I'd like to talk about capacity enhancement projects. These are planned to occur also on both roadways and include the following typical projects. The Garden State Parkway between milepost 98 in Wall Township to milepost 163 in Paramus, a value of approximately $5.4 billion. The Garden State Parkway between milepost 80 and 83. New Jersey Turnpike interchanges 1 to 4 at a value of about $1.1 billion. The New Jersey Turnpike Newark Bay Hudson County Extension for its full length, a value of about $4.3 billion. The Turnpike Westerly Alignment reconstruction for its full length, approximately $5.1 billion. Turnpike Mainline at Interchange 17. And finally, the Turnpike Delaware River Turnpike Bridge replacement at a value of approximately $500 million. Overall, capacity enhancement projects are valued at about $16.7 billion. To continue the work started in 2008, various interchanges on both the Parkway and the Turnpike will be improved at an approximate value of about $265 million. Relative to resiliency and sustainability projects, there's a major project on the Garden State Parkway for flood zone remediation between Bass River and Mullica River Great Egg Harbor, valued at approximately $1.4 billion to raise the grade above 100-year flood levels. Other projects that I previously mentioned that are included in the proposed program have sustainability and resiliency components as part of those projects as well. As Bob mentioned, there are display boards in the foyer that provide more details on selected projects that are included in the proposed capital program. We focused on projects within the vicinity of this public hearing here in Woodbridge. There are also technical staff that can help answer your questions and explain more detail about those projects. The proposed capital program contains a variety of state-of-good repair projects that can be quickly implemented. These projects will bring jobs to the design and construction industry this year and for years to come, which is important to New Jersey's overall transportation network and economy. This will also help the ancillary industries that generate income from a robust construction environment, such as material suppliers, food vendors, and related small businesses. There are also larger projects that will now have the long-term and sustainable funding necessary to complete them due to their complex nature and rigorous environmental process. This will provide additional help to sustain the transportation design and construction industry in New Jersey for years to come. I specifically want to mention that there will be full adherence to the required environmental process, which will include public hearings for individual projects included in this capital program. As a result, you will have the opportunity to learn more about specific projects and provide comments on those individual projects as they move forward. In summary, these projects all replace and upgrade infrastructure that is well over 50 years old. They will improve safety and mobility for commuters and truckers alike and provide a significant infusion of jobs into New Jersey, both in the short term and well into the future. Thank you for your attention and for attending this public hearing.
Thank you, Greg. I now open the floor for public comment. The way we're going to work this process is I have a list of people who have registered to speak. When I call your name, I'm going to ask you to come and approach the front microphone. Again, I remind everyone that when you come to the microphone, please state your name clearly, spell your last name, and identify where you live in the state of New Jersey or elsewhere. If you are seated in the rear room and your name is called, an authority representative will bring you forward. So the first speaker that has registered is Mike McCarskey.
Thank you. Mike McCarskey, M-A-K-A-R-S-K-I, Bridgewater, New Jersey. I lead external affairs for the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, the Labor Management Fund for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825. On behalf of the nearly 7,200 hardworking men and women that we represent, as well as the more than 1,000 signatory union contractors who employ them, we are here in support of the Turnpike Authority's toll adjustment and establishment proposal. As we all know, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in our nation and is a critical transportation corridor for our entire region. Our roads, bridges, and tunnels take a beating from both in-state and out-of-state drivers, and they must be continually maintained. According to the recent statistics released by this very agency, more than half of the drivers on the New Jersey Turnpike are from out-of-state, and nearly 25% that travel the Parkway are from out-of-state as well. Increasing the tolls on the Turnpike and Garden State Parkway is the only way to ensure that these out-of-state drivers clogging up our roads pay their fair share for their maintenance. We will also be submitting some detailed comments in the wake of the current social distancing situations. Commissioner, we thank you for your leadership on this, and thank you for the opportunity to make a statement.
Thank you, Mr. McCarskey. The next speaker is Jerry Keenan.
Hi, yes, I'm Jerry Keenan, K-E-E-N-A-N, and I live in East Windsor Township. I have a testimony, and I'll give it to you, but mostly I'll just talk off the top. But just the business part of it. My name is Jerry Keenan. I'm Executive Vice President of the New Jersey Alliance for Action. The Alliance for Action represents thousands of New Jersey corporate, labor, professional, academic, utility, and higher education leaders. The Alliance's mission is to improve New Jersey's economy through the promotion of environmentally friendly and responsible infrastructure investments. For over 40 years, the Alliance has focused exclusively on infrastructure issues important to New Jersey and the region, including transportation, water, wastewater, coastal protection, harbor dredging, energy, and other infrastructure issues. Very simply, the New Jersey Alliance for Action supports this proposed capital improvement program and toll adjustment program introduced by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. You take a look around here today. This is really a day that will go down in history. It really is. It's a dramatic day. It reminds me of when they first got together to talk about, let's build the George Washington Bridge, or let's build the Lincoln Tunnel. Those steps that our ancestor took back in those years are directly affecting our lives and how we're able to lead our lives today. It's important for us to do the same for our kids and our grandchildren, and this is the opportunity to do this. I want to thank you, Diane. Diane, as Commissioner Scicchetti, as Director of the Turnpike Authority years ago, John Keller as the Executive Director now, but running the Capital Improvement Program years ago. What you did in those years with the widening program on the Turnpike and the Parkway changed my life. It absolutely did. I live in East Windsor Township. I get on the Turnpike coming home every night at exit 10. I would sit, and I think I saw my car in some of those pictures before. I would sit in that traffic, and it was brutal. And it wasn't just one day a week. During the summer, it was every day of the week. And God helped me on Thanksgiving, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, trying to get home. It was impossible. What you've done has improved not only my life, but the lives of everyone using that highway. Now, my business, my company, I travel every inch of the state, from the top corners of Sussex County down to Atlantic County, Cape May County. I've sat in traffic nonstop. I've had the opportunity to wave, say hello to the people who were supposedly parked in the lane right next to me, on the Parkway, on the Turnpike throughout the state. This is the opportunity to fix all that. These are steps that need to be taken. Like I said, it is a quality of life issue. This is our chance to take care of that. The road, the bridge, the technology, safety, and tolling improvements are going to change lives, as I said, and it's going to change lives not for just everyone here in this room. It's going to change the lives of our kids, of our grandchildren, of our great-grandchildren for many, many years to come. So with that, the Alliance for Action proudly supports this program and asks the Turnpike Authority to approve it as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Keenan. The next speaker is Zoe Baldwin.
Hello. My name is Zoe Baldwin, B-A-L-D-W-I-N, and I live in Neptune, New Jersey. And I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the Utility and Transportation Contractors Association. On behalf of ourselves and our 1,000 plus member firms, we'd like to express our strong support for the toll increases proposed. It's been nearly 9 years since the tolls were last raised, and the Turnpike Authority's capital plan has come to an end. There's just $400 million left for important projects that enhance safety, relieve congestion, and improve access onto and off of the Turnpike and the Parkway. While no one likes to pay more, everyone wants a better, faster commute. Increasing tolls will afford the Turnpike Authority the resources it needs to continue providing us with the same premium service that we've come to expect. After the last increases, drivers were able to immediately see their toll dollars put to work in the form of paving, shoulder improvements, and major widening projects on both roadways that noticeably reduced congestion. In this way, the planned toll increases will help strengthen our state by reducing traffic, creating jobs, and stimulating the construction and design industries. It is critical that we continue this investment in our transportation system for the sake of our commutes and our economy. We're also very much in support of the increases being indexed to inflation, but subject to a reasonable cap. This is a common sense fiscal policy that was applied to the gas tax and should be applied here. Over $1 billion annually hangs in the balance, and the projects funded under this plan will put thousands to work and help commuters and commerce get around and through our state faster. Again, thank you for this opportunity to testify. On behalf of New Jersey's infrastructure builders, we urge you to move forward with this proposal.
Thank you.
Chair, can I just drop off my
Certainly. Oops. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next is Mr. Bob Bryant Jr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Those of the board also. You just heard Zoe Baldwin present our testimony. However, I was asked to come today on behalf of the New Jersey Asphalt Pavement Association. Your Executive Director, Kevin Monaco, couldn't make it, so he asked me to read a very brief letter of support, so I hope I can indulge me. This statement of support is from the New Jersey Asphalt Pavement Association. They represent approximately 110 companies throughout New Jersey who manufacture and place asphalt pavements throughout the state. Our membership represents 100% of the market share of asphalt production in New Jersey. Our members employ 5,000 people, and they're good-paying jobs. This proposal to increase tolls is fiscally prudent, will help to alleviate traffic congestion, promote economic growth, create tens of thousands of jobs, most importantly, improve safety. New Jersey Turnpike is an economic engine, not only for New Jersey, but also for our entire nation. Having a well-maintained and robust transportation network is critical to allow the flow of products and people throughout the state and region. It is more important and prudent and cost-efficient over the long term to raise fees modestly and pay for needed improvements. You get the gist of what Mr. Monaco was saying on their behalf. But I want to point out one thing, is that, yes, we need this. This is the, our region of the country is the second largest consumer market in the world. We need to have free flowing of products, people going to work, and services. If we don't maintain these roadways, this is going to have severe economic results in this state. And if you look at it right now, I think we're looking at some very difficult economic times coming ahead. The investments that you folks will be making in our transportation system, not only is it going to pay and provide direct jobs, tens of thousands of jobs, but think about all the materials that go into these products. This investment is not going to China, things made in China. It's not going to be made in things made in Brazil or Europe. These materials and products are made right here in this state. Our asphalt, our concrete, our aggregate, our soils. So you think about those manufacturing facilities, our concrete precast products, pipe, we have a pipe manufacturer here in this state. It's all made here in this state. So you want to talk about an effect on this state's GDP. And construction on a nation basis is one of the biggest GDP providers in this country. It produces more than farming and manufacturing with the roll through the economy. So not only what you're doing is going to benefit all the commuters of the state, but it's going to have a tremendous amount of economic stimulus and job security for many, many people in this state. And I think the timing is perfect because I think we're headed for some rough seas when it comes to the economy. So I thank you for your leadership, Commissioner, and the rest of those on the board, and also the Governor. Hopefully he'll look kindly upon this. Thank you greatly.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. The next speaker, Joe Fioradolso.
Madam Chair.
Morning.
My name is Joe Fiordaliso, F like Frank, I-O-R, D like David, A-L-I-S-O, and I'm the president of the American Council of Engineering Companies of New Jersey, which is based in Trenton. I rise in strong support of the proposed plan today. I'll submit written testimony for the record, but would like to highlight a few key points while I'm here. Engineers know better than anyone that without proper investment, our transportation infrastructure will not remain in good working order. The Turnpike Authority is at the end of its current long-term capital program, and without additional investment, a new program cannot proceed. The Authority's needs over the next 20 years are significant, as have been discussed and are available in presentation materials. The Authority has a strong track record of spending toll revenues wisely. The same professionals charged with delivering the next program are largely responsible for the successes of the recently concluded one, which you outlined. For example, the Turnpike 6 to 9 widening was delivered on time and under budget by $300 million. New facilities at rest stops have drastically improved the customer experience for travelers. and pavement has been constantly maintained so that we all have a smooth ride, regardless of our destination. Based on current and future needs and the past performance of the authority, this proposal is absolutely appropriate and warranted. You know, in light of everything we're dealing with in our nation at the moment, I do wish the timing of this hearing were different, as you indicated, Madam Chair. However, our capital needs just can't wait. The authority has always done right by New Jersey's 9 million residents and the motoring public. And so I'm pleased that these hearings are proceeding, and I thank everyone for taking the appropriate precautions, including the spray on my microphone. I appreciate that. The proposed toll increases are significantly less than past adjustments. Indexing will make sure that the tolls keep pace with rising costs and eliminate the need for large increases in the future. I want to commend Executive Director John Keller and his team of professionals for developing this proposal. On behalf of ACEC's 125 member firms and 5,000 New Jersey employees, I strongly urge the authority's board and Governor Murphy to approve it. You know, I'd also like to take a moment of personal privilege to offer my personal endorsement of this proposal. Commissioner, as you know, I served as Chief of Staff, the Department of Transportation under 2 different governors. I served as a member of Governor Murphy's transition team for transportation and infrastructure alongside you. I serve on the board of several prominent transportation advocacy and think tank organizations, though I'm not speaking on their behalf today. I've been deeply involved with transportation policy issues over the past 15 years and have a keen understanding of the infrastructure issues facing our state and our region. As such, and simply put, it is critical that this proposal be enacted. It is critical to the condition of our roads, bridges, and transit systems, critical to the ability of our residents to travel throughout our state, critical to the health of our economy, and for all these reasons, I ask the board to pass this plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fiordelso. Next speaker is Dennis Brady. Oh, 1 second, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dennis, Denis Brady. I live in Mattawan. I'd like the board members to remember this figure, 35,193,000. We have that in our head. In 2000 and whatever year it was, the last time you asked for a toll increase, I was the man that came in and said, yeah, as a matter of fact, put a toll plaza in at 120. News 12 made me look like a fool. Well, here we are again, and I'm saying, go right ahead. I agree with your tolls. I agree with what the past people have stipulated up here. But close the gaps on the Parkway. They're wide open. I told you you would destroy my street. You told me, well, you're putting up signs that say Waze program, I believe it was at that point. It didn't work. Waze turned into a computer program. Google has a computer program. All you have to do is ask them, how do I get on the Parkway without paying? 120. So based upon an open public record that I got, the number for your records is 6753. That's where the 35,193,000 comes from 2012 to January 1st. That's 4 holes in the Parkway. You've got holes up and down the Parkway. They get on and off at Cheesequake. They get on and off at Belmar. Close the holes. Everybody pays to get on. Everybody pays to get off. And you're going to see a substantial increase, including the hole at 9, where we all merge in traffic to get on 9 in the Parkway. That's all I'm asking. Close the holes and save some local neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ciro Scalera.
I'll start this first. My name is Ciro Scalera. I'm Director of Government Relations for the Laborers International Union of North America, LIUNA. With me, I have close to 300 postcards signed by and addressed by our members just in northern New Jersey. Tonight, you'll receive a similar number from our South Jersey members. This proposal and its approval is very important to them and it's why I'm here today, and it's why I bring you these. I'll also leave some copy of my statement.
Thank you. Okay, for the record, I'm going to be marking the first exhibit that was given, I believe, by Mr. Keenan as exhibit number 1. And I'll date it for today, obviously. And this pack of signed cards as a whole, I'll just mark as exhibit number 2. Okay. And there's also a accompanying statement, and because that ties in, I'll make this exhibit 2A. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Please continue.
I'm not going to repeat what's in my statement because I'm a lobbyist for LiUNA and Trenton, and I know that's usually not greeted well. I will point out, though, that we have 45,000 members in the region and 11,000 in our 2 heavy highway locals, north and south. And we have historically and traditionally, like so many of the other organizations you've heard today, supported prudent and needed investments in New Jersey. I spend most of my time in Trenton working on proposals for economic development, utilities, transportation infrastructure. It's critical to our state. I'm going to highlight just 3 quick points that haven't come up yet, I don't think. It's funny when I host, and by the way, I live in Berkeley Heights. I take 78 to the Parkway usually every morning south, so I'm going the right way. And then I get on the Turnpike to 8A. And it's sad, and my first point is, I tell people we have the best road system in the nation, but at drive time, that road system becomes severely congested. And any of us who drive the road every day, several of my colleagues who go to Trenton and we go statewide, congestion has now become a major problem. Your capital plan will absolutely address that. I'm working on a project in Hoboken, New Jersey, to get from Berkeley Heights to Hoboken in the morning on 14A, B, C. I don't even want to tell you how much time I have to allow to get to a 9 o'clock breakfast meeting. It's difficult. So those proposals for that section are absolutely going to make major improvements for that. The second point is that, not so quietly, but somewhat quietly, we have become a logistics state. This state now is, because of its location, Commissioner, poised and has a booming logistics industry. And if we're going to keep our economic competitiveness, if we're going to do the things that need to be done to provide our residents with jobs and safe commuting, then we have to make the kind of investment that this plan proposes. And finally, no one's mentioned it, but I want to, we strongly support an investment in New Jersey Transit. There are stations that need extensions to platforms. There are stations that need, some maybe a facelift, but others more dedicated funding to improve them. I don't think we could look at any vision of where New Jersey should be and not realize that, cars do contribute to our air quality, and that the more we can move people into electric vehicles and on train and mass transit, this is very consistent with where the governor wants to go with an energy master plan, and we support the investment that this proposal would make in New Jersey Transit. So in sum, please support this proposal. It's necessary for our state. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Anthony Attanasio. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Anthony Attanasio, and the pronunciation, very well done. I don't know that happens very often. It's A-T-T, A-N-A-S-I-O. I'm a resident of Bridgewater, New Jersey. I want to thank you, Commissioner, Executive Director Keller, and the rest of the staff and support staff of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority for moving forward this very important proposal at this very important time. My experience in transportation ranges from having been a senior leader at New Jersey Transit and New Jersey DOT. I had the honor of serving as Executive Director to Bob Bryant Jr. at the UTCA, and also was served in a very large engineering firm at a senior level. Transportation investment is, and I'm biased, arguably the most important thing we could be doing in society. Healthcare, education, and infrastructure, core elements of government. And the reality is that when I had the honor of working for Jim Weinstein at New Jersey Transit, he once said to me, the best answer you gave in your job interview was when you said, why work at New Jersey Transit? And I said, because New Jersey is transportation. We are a corridor state. We connect New York to Philadelphia. Our logistics, right, which Ciro mentioned, our shore, all of our amenities, what make us, in my opinion, the greatest state to live in the United States of America, depends on the backbone of transportation. This investment not only puts people to work, infuses money into the economy at a time that has been mentioned before, and I don't think we really know the full extent of coronavirus and what it's going to do to our economy. Nationally, the average is for every dollar put into infrastructure, nationally, you get $3.50 to $4 back into your local economy, even with the increased cost of living in New Jersey. For us to invest this money into our state now to improve the mobility, safety, and congestion of our residents is something that should be applauded. And Commissioner, once again, you, the Executive Director, and the administration should be applauded for that. But ultimately, one of the concerns most people will bring up as toll payers and taxpayers is cost of living. And the reality is that if you drive the New Jersey Turnpike every day between exit 6 and 9, your life has been revolutionized. The time you're saving every day, Commissioner, you mentioned 15 to 20 minutes, that's one way. Both ways could be as much as a half hour to 40 minutes of your day. That's time with your children, your family. This agency has an incredible track record of delivering its capital infrastructure on time and under budget to the point where toll payers and taxpayers should be encouraged. The chart that you showed, that the cost per mile of these roads compared to other places in this country, places which much lower cost of living have much higher tolls than we do. That's because of how well this agency is run. So as someone who lives in the state, works in the state, has a child who one day will, I hope, stay in this state, the investments you're proposing to make at this authority are fantastic. I wholeheartedly support them as a private citizen, as someone who works, my business revolves around the infrastructure market. I want to thank you, I want to encourage you. We support these hikes, and anything we can do to support them beyond these hearings, please let us know. Thank you very much for having the hearing today.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is Jason Friedman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Jason Friedman. That's F-R-I-E-D-M-A-N. I make my home in East Brunswick, New Jersey. And on behalf of the 13,000 members of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America that reside also and make their home here in New Jersey, I'd like to rise in support of this capital program. For all the reasons that have been mentioned so far today in support of this program, and moreover, that in the year 2016, the American Society of Civil Engineers gave our great state a D+ rating in infrastructure. Certainly, further investment in the vital infrastructure of our state, and really the vital infrastructure of the Eastern Seaboard, is warranted, is necessary, will be profitable, and in the past, as has been identified previously, is going to be well managed and will produce a tremendous return on investment. So the Carpenters are for it. We appreciate seeing this go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is Cindy Williams. One second. Thank you. Good afternoon.
I'd like to thank you for lowering the mic. My name is Cindy Williams, W-I-L-L-I-A-M-S. I live in Tinton Falls, New Jersey, and I work for the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. And I'm here on behalf of the members and also myself, thinking back to buying and purchasing my first home. Working on a bridge afforded me that opportunity when I was 24 years old. So it really is near and dear to me, the topics of infrastructure and bridges. And I have a few speaking points on behalf of the Carpenters that I'd like to share. I want to thank New Jersey Department of Transportation for holding this public meeting and listening to all stakeholders regarding this issue. New Jersey is in desperate need of a real investment in replacing and repairing the infrastructure of our state. We have seen too many times across this country infrastructure fail and the need for reliable and safe transportation for all New Jersey residents. The modest raise in tolls that are being proposed by the NJDOT will help to make sure that we have projects moving forward. It will help put hardworking men and women like myself to work, including skilled carpenters of the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. Our families are losing out because of the lack of funding for our local infrastructure projects. New Jersey must be a leader to take care of its working families with investments in roads, bridges, and rail. Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters proudly supports this effort. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Mr. Barry Kushner.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First, I'd like to thank the hardworking employees of the Turnpike for keeping everyone in this room and in this building safe. My name is Barry Kushner, Kushnir. I'm the president of the Turnpike Employees Union. I represent 1,100 tolls, office, and maintenance workers on the New Jersey Turnpike. And I'm also the president of the Hudson County Central Labor Council, which represents approximately 15,000 union members in Hudson County, New Jersey. They are public, private, and building and construction trade unionists. I'm just here to stand in strong support of a toll adjustment for the capital investment program, primarily for the creation and maintenance of good middle-class, decent-paying jobs. Secondly, important repairs of critical infrastructure needs to move people and goods throughout our state. And then finally, for the ability to sustain a robust regional economy that's second to none in our country. I personally applaud this much-needed investment in the long-term health of our region because it will keep New Jersey moving forward and maintain the economic importance that we have as a region. And on a personal note, I live in Bayonne, New Jersey, which prior to the last capital investment, it almost took me an hour to get out of town. I would be backed up for 20 blocks down Avenue E. And with smart policy, smart investments in programs that redesign the entire interchange, I rarely have a backup on my way in and out. So I want to thank, once again, the hardworking Turnpike employees who are keeping us safe today. I'd like to thank the Commissioner and the staff of the Turnpike for having this important hearing. And I just want to reiterate, I stand in strong support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kushner. The current list that I have now, that exhausts it. Is there anyone else here that would like to speak now? We're going to keep the record open until 3 o'clock. But does anyone else within the room or in the back room wish to speak now? Okay, we'll just wait. I guess we could, the record will stay open, so if you want to restart, again, if anyone signs up and wants to come in and speak, just let us know. We'll leave the stage for a couple minutes until we're notified there's another speaker, okay? Thank you all. You're welcome to stay.
Just let me finish checking. Someone's coming.
Probably not.
Hey, John. Yeah, we gotta wait till the bridge. Okay, thank you. Okay, for the record, the hearing today has been held open till 3 o'clock for any supplemental speakers. No one other than the original group has signed. We reiterate that the record stays open until April 3rd. If you have any questions or comments, we would like you to submit them in writing. Again, I'll remind one more time, please send them to the authority at the Office of the Executive Director, New Jersey Turnpike Authority, 1 Turnpike Plaza, P.O. Box 5042, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 07095. Comments, again, can be emailed to the authority at NJTA, publiccomments@njta.com. And again, I'll remind you that the presentations that were heard today will be posted on our website at njta.com. It's now 3:02. The hearing, this particular portion of the hearing is completely closed. We express our sincere appreciation to all who watched, who spoke. And again, I reiterate that the official record of the hearing remains open till April 3rd. Thank you and good afternoon.